Hello and welcome to the East. 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 Hello and welcome to. Hello and welcome to the East. Hello and welcome to. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the East. Hello and welcome to. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the East. Hello and welcome to. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the East. Hello and welcome to. Hello and welcome. 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 Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township public meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's orders limiting indoor gatherings, in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's orders limiting indoor gatherings, in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's orders limiting indoor gatherings, in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's orders and welcome to the East Lampeter in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's orders and welcome to the East Lampeter in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's orders and welcome to the East Lampeter in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's hello and welcome to the East Lampeter in-person attendance for this meeting is being limited to a maximum of 25 people who will be observing social distancing. Due to the COVID-19 virus and Governor Wolf's hello and welcome to the East Lampeter
That's fine. I'll improvise. Okay. All right. Okay. So we make everyone aware that this meeting is being audio and video recorded, and it'll be on our township YouTube channel. That's right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Tony, can you raise your hand if you can hear me okay? Now, Karen. Okay. No. Because no, I'm on. Yeah, I'm totally on. Testing, Sarah, can you hear me?
It's very faint.
Oh, okay. And I'm talking loud. Testing. Sarah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay.
And it's louder than it was?
Oh, yes, now I can hear you too, John.
Huh. Okay. I'm not sure if Hutch did something back there or if I'm just talking directly into the mic.
I didn't do anything.
Okay. So this sounds good.
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay. I'm fine holding it.
Or just put it up closer to your voice box.
Yeah. I'll try to speak down to the microphone. Up, over. Okay. Tara, how does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Would you like me to start the meeting over, or I am perfectly fine moving ahead? We've called the meeting to order. We've told you it's being recorded. It'll be on the YouTube channel. You hear us working through technical difficulties. Please join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next on the agenda, I just want to introduce, we have Supervisor Dave Buckwater, Vice Chairman John Blowers, Chairman Corey Meyer, and Supervisor Ethan Demi. And Glenn is trying to join the meeting, but having some difficulty. If he joins, I'll introduce him at that point. But we do have a quorum, so we'll continue. Next on the agenda, we have public comment for non-agenda items only. Is there anyone first in the room here for non-agenda items? Mr. Gribble says no. Anyone online on the Zoom here for public comment? Okay. Any emails? Any other communication? Okay. We'll move forward with number 4 on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. We have a few items that I'll mention. We have approval of the minutes of the Monday, March 15th, 2021 regular meeting. And we have 4B, approval to pay invoices from all funds, total of $230,675.43. 2 items of note, $3,001.50 to Whitmer Mulch LLC for playground mulch in parks, and $17,174.18 to Atlantic Tactical for police safety equipment. Those are the 2 items for the consent agenda. I'll accept a motion for the consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Motion made by Blowers, second by Ethan. Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have 5 old business. There are no items there. 6 new business, High Associates subdivision plan, 2107 Ben Franklin Boulevard. Tony, I see you're there. I'm assuming there's others as well from High. Who would like to begin?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We certainly appreciate the board's consideration of this subdivision plan request this evening. I am joined by Dave Miller of RTU, Don Jacobs of Traffic Planning and Design, and Eric Mounts is also here to provide support from Traffic Planning and Design. Most of what we'll discuss tonight, Dave Miller will weigh in on. I'll do a brief introduction. I'll provide a very brief introduction. We'll be brief tonight, and Dave can walk through some of the finer details of the subdivision plan. It is a very straightforward plan. The purpose of this subdivision plan before you this evening is simply to create the right-of-way and the easements related to the Ben Franklin Boulevard, the new extension of Ben Franklin Boulevard. As you know, that extension of Ben Franklin Boulevard really serves the Walnut Street Extension project. It is a part of that project. And the new segment of Ben Franklin Boulevard creates a run directly to the east of the roundabout, the PennDOT right-of-way. I think the roundabout location of about 1,000 linear feet where it connects to Greenfield Road. So the new segment of Ben Franklin Boulevard that we're going to discuss tonight really connects the state road, the Walnut Street extended, to Greenfield Road. And again, it's about 1,000 linear foot run. Really what we're doing, what we're proposing tonight in the plan before you is to further subdivide 2 lots. Lot 1 is the vacant lot to the south of the PA College. When Dave brings up the plan, you'll see this visually, but we're borrowing from Lot 1 and we're borrowing from Lot 2, which is the lot that actually hosts the PA College to create the right-of-way that will be dedicated to the township for Ben Franklin Boulevard. And we're taking about a half acre, a little more than a half acre from each of those lots to create the approximately 1.1 acre new right-of-way for Ben Franklin Boulevard. That, in essence, is the purpose behind this evening's request. The plan also creates various easements. Dave can give you a brief overview of those. There is no construction, no physical improvement associated with this plan. It's really an important interim step in the permitting process to demonstrate to PennDOT and the state that the right-of-way, the process to create and dedicate the right-of-way related to Ben Franklin Boulevard is underway and is being established. That's really the purpose of this exercise this evening. On a side note, I'm pleased to report that the permitting process is moving ahead according to plan. We're tracking very well. We recently got feedback on our Cycle 5 submission, which in essence was the bridge over Millcross Road. I don't want to deviate from tonight's purpose, but I would share the good news that PennDOT approved the TS&L plan for that bridge. So the design of the bridge, the major design that you all have reviewed before has been approved and signed off by PennDOT. So we continue to make good progress, and the subdivision plan before you tonight is really a part of that larger story. So with that, Dave, I'll turn to you at this point. If there aren't any questions in the interim, I'll turn to you to build on what I just shared.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you for the update. Thanks for the quick update on the bridge as well. Appreciate that.
Very good.
Yep. Thank you, Tony. Would I be able to share a screen? There we go.
You should be good.
Okay. If you can see the subdivision plan in front of you this evening. As Tony said, the purpose of this plan is simply to provide right-of-way for the construction of the Ben Franklin Boulevard, which is this roughly 1.1 acres of property through here from Greenfield Road up to the PennDOT right-of-way. So this plan proposes to create that right-of-way, and in so doing, this right-of-way bisects the current lot, which houses the PA College of Health Sciences. And so this plan proposes to join this piece in the southwest with Lot 1 in the southeast. So this will be the new Lot 1, the right-of-way for Ben Franklin Boulevard, and the PA College Lot 2. And that, along with some easements, which I can describe, is the purpose of this plan. There are no improvements associated with the plan. It is a subdivision only, along with what is being created along there is an easement for the pedestrian trail, which also will go from Greenfield Road up to the PennDOT right-of-way, and traffic signal easements at the intersection with Greenfield Road. And there's an existing basin, detention basin, in the southwest corner of the property. Currently, there is no easement associated with that, so we're taking this opportunity to create a stormwater management easement for that existing basin. That is really the nature of the plan. We did get a review letter from DMA from March 3rd. In that letter are comments on a list of waivers that we are requesting, as well as some deferrals. The deferrals are asking for postponement of some improvements until the time when Lot 1 goes before the township for land development. We have all of those deferrals and waivers were recommended by in the DMA letter, also by the Planning Commission. If you have any questions on anything specifically, we'd be happy to address those. The other comments contained in the DMA letter, we have no issues with addressing those. So with that said, that very brief summary, if there's any questions, anything particular you'd like to discuss, we'd be happy to do so.
Dave, you might want to note you have the letter from the county. We did not have that
Yes.
at Planning Commission.
Right, thank you. We did receive a letter from the County Planning Commission. It essentially agreed with the project. It was happy with, it was consistent with the place's 2040 plan, and they were happy with the pedestrian accesses, et cetera, that are being provided with the plan.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, I personally don't have any questions related to the deferrals granted in the DMA letter. I guess the question is just, you talk a little bit about the, is there gonna be grass on the sides, in the middle? What's it gonna look like to people in that area?
Along the, so there'll be a grass strip between the roadway, Ben Franklin Boulevard, and the sidewalk. There will be a beauty strip through there. And there's a median created as the roadway approaches the roundabout, which is in the PennDOT right of way. So it will have a boulevard effect up on the, and for discussion purposes, north is pointing to the right. So, so on the western side of Ben Franklin Boulevard, there is a boulevard effect through there.
So in the boulevard effect, it's just that's a hardscape median. That's not actually grass in that median, or is there grass in that median as you go to the top of the plan?
Yes, that is grass. If I say anything incorrectly, yes, that is grass.
Okay.
It's meant.
Okay. Understood. Okay.
You said.
Yeah, and the maintenance of that grass that's typically the responsibility of the township. Is that correct in most places? Or is that sometimes the property owners?
Yeah, the only, Charlie and I were talking about this earlier today. The only place that we can think of where we've got a landscaped area in township right of way is at the Oaks, Acorn Boulevard, just off of Oakview Road going in there.
Yeah.
And the homeowners association in that area maintains
it.
that area. There's an agreement between they and the township. So that's the only other place we could think of where it would be similar to this.
Yeah, got it.
And, candidly, the amount of maintenance that we would be doing to that would be minimal.
Right. So Tony and team, were you thinking that you'd be doing maintenance on that?
We did anticipate some type of agreement here, yes.
Okay, so we probably need to have some sort of written agreement of that. So I think probably the best thing in some sort of motion, we just give staff the opportunity to at least discuss that, and then I'm assuming some sort of agreement will come back in front of us at some point. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you do a great job on all the other intersections, and I'm assuming it'll look just as good. Okay. Any questions from the board to I and team?
I know this is not part of the presentation, but this is going to be a signalized intersection, Greenfield Road, Ben Franklin, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Now, this isn't, the intention here is not to show the roadway lining alignment, if you will, or the edges of the roadway. It's just dedicating some or changing the lot lines. But I'm curious to know if that intersection will be offset from one side of Greenfield Road to the other, and if so, what is the amount, the dimension?
I'm going to ask Don Jacobs to field that question. Don?
If the question is, will the lanes line up for the two legs of
That's the question,
Franklin Boulevard, they will. There won't be, if you're going straight from the roundabout past the college to get to Greenfield North, the lanes will line up exactly.
That answers, thanks. That answers my question. I know this wasn't the point of the presentation, but I just had a question about it. Thank you.
Touch, yep.
Yeah, the only comment that I would make is that, because of this, the way the project develops, this is a critical portion of moving the project along. And they've been really good about giving us the opportunity to review all the plans and participate in that. So, since the right of way is going to be created, the next element of that is to make sure it's built to township specifications. And they've been including us in that and taking our input. So everything's lining up in that regard.
Good to hear. Okay. I'll accept the motion, then we can get any other public comment before we vote.
Make a motion that we final subdivision plan for Ben Franklin Boulevard right-of-way as presented, engineer's comments dated Miller Associates March 3rd, 2021. I believe there are, looks like all of the modifications and or waivers, Township Planning Commission and Township Engineer are recommending. Looks like some deferral requests here. Anything that I'm missing?
Based on the letter.
Nothing else. So the letter, for the David Miller Associates letter of March 3rd.
Do you want to add anything about the township staff working in agreement?
Yeah, let me make sure we capture that if we can. There is the issue, as Corey was pointing out, of the, I guess, the median strip and between the sidewalk and the roadway itself, the boulevard, so that the applicant will work with township staff to establish the proper care of that, maintenance of that.
I'll second.
The area that we're most interested in is the area that's between the curbs. So it's, but between the curb and the walkway is fine. The adjacent property owner is always clearly responsible for that. So this is the area in the middle of the road.
Okay,
Yeah.
which would be that boulevard as we move up towards the roundabout.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'll second.
So I understand the motion. I think we all understand staff will work together on that specifics. Okay, great. So motion is made and second. Any other comment from the board? Okay. Any comment from the public?
Just so you're aware, I believe Glenn has joined the meeting.
Okay, great. I did want to mention that Supervisor Glenn Everly has joined the meeting, and he can. I'll do a roll call vote, at least for, we'll do a roll call vote. So any other comments from the public or the applicant? Okay. We'll do roll call vote. All those in favor, how are you supposed to do it? Glenn first, right, okay. For the motion, Glenn, you're on mute. Glenn, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just great.
Aye.
Aye, great. Dave?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Ethan? Aye. Chair's aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing more progress. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the night. Okay, number 7, we have no action items. 8, we have a presentation for our road maintenance program. Charlie will train us on a new word, robotics. Robotics.
Robotics, yes.
The floor is yours, Charlie.
Let me get it on here.
I'm almost sure. It should be good now. Okay.
I can put this on here.
That's the issue. You're
Oh,
running the meeting like I'm running the meeting.
okay. All right, wait, I don't need the host. I'll get this off here.
Yeah, I think you have to go all the way back out. And then the way you join the meeting is,
So I guess shut down. No,
Give us a few minutes. We're
more technical difficulty.
rebooting. We'll be right back.
website.
Back down to the website. Sorry about this.
First,
You're going to the township.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Where's my mouse? Ain't working.
Hutch, you may want to try from your computer, going in and right-clicking on Charlie at the under the participants and removing co-host from him.
We want him to be the co-host so he can share his screen.
Let me do something here once. Let me see. It's not letting me get on. Never getting it.
okay. We're good.
As you can tell, the computer illiterate.
Not really. He's not.
Okay, I'll give a quick presentation here of the robotics. This has been we purchased this in 2019. It gives us 82 miles of roadway here in the township. I don't have anything highlighted at this point. What we can do with this will give us a demonstration of how bad our roads are. If I start opening up the roads, the green to the red are green's good, red's worse. So I can turn all the roadways on and you can get an idea of where our roads are. Average 2.8, we're in pretty good shape with that. I'll give you a demonstration of where we're going this year up into Zook's Corner. There is a toolbox right here, which we can open up. I can open up satellite. Here in Zook's Corner, you see a lot of yellow. We just have the road segments open at this point. What the points are, there's a picture taken every 10 feet with the camera. And as you see, as I open things up, how things start lighting up worse up in this corner. So I can turn off all the good stuff and zero in on that whole area.
So Charlie, this camera sits on the back of a truck. You essentially have to drive
It actually,
all 82 miles. Is that
it's actually mounted on the windshield of the car. It's
Oh, is that
actually
right?
like a phone.
okay?
I've been going through some other courses where we may be able to do this on our own. They recommend an update every 3 to 5 years due to your
Yeah.
paving projects, because some of the roads we paved last year are still showing bad, but we know they're good now.
Right.
But this area up in here, it saves us time measuring roadway. We used to have to go out and wheel these roads or try to get accurate as possible. With this here, if I would click on a road segment, it tells me, it's in the way here, pictures are in the way. That segment, what they do is go from center of intersection to center of intersection. So we already know that was 335 feet long. Okay, I still got the pictures, but that's over. If I want to drive it, where you see the white part sticking out like a flashlight, that's the way you're
The
headed.
view that it's looking. Yeah.
Yep. So if we turned around,
Yeah.
I gotta get this down. So I'm sorry. We change, the ratings change as you drive. You can actually do a slideshow, or you can just click and it goes up through. Once we get to a bad spot, there we're changing to a 4 now. What we can do is open it up, get the full view of the roadway, and it just shows all the pothole, all the alligator and everything. Another thing that helps here is after we do pave a road and some of the residents will question the way the water's running, this will show us the way those driveway adjustments were already there. So if there's any question, it could be done. Some of the other tools that we got here, you can go to full satellite view. And if you're questioning any kind of roadway or development that you're in this toolbox, there is a 3D video that you can actually see how close any of the other bad roads are. There's a measuring tool there. You can actually take a screenshot, email to somebody, email to a resident. If they have a complaint, you can pull up anything in front of their address, take a picture of it and say, this is what we're seeing. And then just to get back to the Willow Acres is the same way. Basically what it does is it just shows light green roads, but then once you start highlighting all these segment points, every 10 feet, it shows up all these alligators, potholes. There's another tool they're advancing now that should be coming out with soon. It will plot every pothole and it'll give you an icon on the screen. If somebody complains about it, you can plot it, see it right there. Go out and make the repairs and take it away. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. We start looking hard at the roads when they're at a yellow. If they get beyond the yellow, they're beyond help. But if they're in like a light green, a 2 to 3, you can double oil and chip that and actually give it another 3 to 5 years before something serious has to be done. But at this point, with a 2.08 average of our roadways, I think we're in pretty good shape. So over the next 2 to 3 years, we'll probably have another survey done to see where the whole township's at that point.
Tell us how many miles
We don't have that tool yet.
then you can tell us.
Yeah, do we move up or down?
What the cost is.
Yeah,
Per square foot.
correct.
Per linear foot. And you got, you know, some instantaneous dollar figures we're talking about. To get them to green, it's, $6,500.
Yep, exactly.
Just as an example, that Zook's Corner, those roads that you showed us right at the
Yep,
beginning.
right in here.
How old are those? Like when was the last time those roads were touched?
They haven't been touched. I've been here 17 years and we've done some base repair on them and that's about it.
Yeah.
We actually went out and videotaped our storm sewer. It's in good shape.
Yeah.
We'll do that prior to any paving. We'll see a bad road the year prior. What we'll do is we'll go videotape it with the camera that we have, check all our sanitary sewer and all of our storm sewer, see if we need any replacements the year prior.
Right.
We notify the other utilities, gas, water, that these are the roads we're working on.
Cool.
Like I said, if you light up the segments, it just lights up your bad areas then.
You're saying, Charlie, that currently the service that that's being provided to us does the camera work, and that's something that we can take on ourselves in the future.
I think there's an app on the actual cell phone. I'm working with the engineers that came out with this, and they're starting to talk about putting this out there. Right now, they're subcontracted with engineers in the area, and they come out and do the whole survey to get started.
What is the road report analysis?
That will give you, there you go.
Up in a separate screen?
Yes.
We can't see it. You're probably not sharing that screen.
There you go. Is it there? Yep. Okay, so you got residential, it gives you all your unclassified roads, residential road, how many miles in residential area. And this may give us our percentage of what's there.
So yellow is a rating, you got different rating for.
Yep, down at the bottom here underneath.
Oh, there you go.
And the reds are way down, but as you see, some of these roads that are rated as a high 2, low 3
Right.
may have a bunch of these bad spots on it. It's just not showing it. They're giving you an average of the roadway.
Yeah.
And before you lose intersections, that's where you got to do your repairs, of course.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. It's good.
Dave, any questions? Any additional?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, good use of technology, you know.
It's a tool we've been using now. Well, like I said, 2019, we purchased the program, put it to use last year and really starting to use it this year with the saving the time. We used to have 3 guys out there measuring roads. Our road superintendent can sit at his desk and get the average length of the roadways now.
Yep.
So the manpower savings is great. And they are coming out with, like I said, a couple different programs that we're going to be able to implement onto this.
Will this provide you with any assistance when you bid work? Is this used
Yes.
as part of the bidding process?
Yep. Yeah, and the more roadway you give them, of course, the more business you give this company, the lower the prices or the better price you get. But it doesn't measure the width of the road. We have another program that we work with all our utilities. We can scale them, get them close, or just go out and make a couple measurements on one roadway and just average that the whole way down. So it does give you the length segments between intersection to intersection.
Good. Anything we can help you with?
Not this. Oh, what's that?
Nothing. No, there's seriously anything we can help with your departments, anything we can do to help you make your life easier.
Yep, I appreciate working with you guys now. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Okay, Hutch, you're up. 9A MS4 report.
Yes, the other Charlie in the office, Charlie Hayes, prepared some MS4 update information for you, and we continue to have staff working through everything that's necessary to keep us up to the 6 required minimum control measures, and working on pollution reduction projects and trying to move those forward so that we meet our requirements by 2023. The other thing that I want to mention was about this American Rescue Act funding that we're scheduled to receive 1/2 of our allocation sometime in June of this year, and the other half of the allocation in June of next year. We're required to spend the money by the end of 2024. So there's no super urgency to going forward with it, but we haven't yet seen all of the guidelines or regulations that are involved in how the township can spend the money, what it has to be spent on, and what it can't be spent on. We did see some information that can't be, for example, it can't be deposited into pension funds, but all of the various rules and requirements aren't out yet. We hope to see those before the money gets distributed, but we don't know exactly what all those requirements are going to be. But if there are any ideas or suggestions that anyone has, let us know. We'll start to keep a list, and at the point in time when we do have all the information, we'll put together a list of possibilities for the board to consider, and obviously choose among them or come up with anything else that the board wants to do that's within the guidelines and requirements. So the other thing I have learned by sitting in on a couple of the webinars that different groups have been doing is that there's also a whole bunch of other, for lack of a better term, pots of money that are part of this act, many of which may be beneficial to East Lampeter. So I believe that for most of those, we're going to have to keep an eye on how they develop and what the requirements are going to be there. We probably will have to work through Representative Smucker's office for some of them. And so we'll keep an eye on those as well.
I mean, my thought on priorities is it should tie to what we talked about during the annual forecast meeting. So I'm not gonna mention all of them, but Route 30 streetscape plan, multimodal, transportation, especially on the Greater Lancaster Heritage Pathway, on Route 30, making sure our volunteer fire companies are well funded. I'm sure, hopefully there will be pots for that, per se, but, it should be the things that we talked about, because I think we all agreed those were our strategic priorities. And frankly, they were the same priorities for the last 4 or 5 years at that meeting, which is good, right? We're not shooting from the hip. We're talking about the same things for years now. That's my thought, but let's see what comes with the when the actual guidance and regs come out. Are we getting information from PSATs? Is that who we expect to get the municipal what municipalities can use for, or is it coming from a different source?
One of the sources is PSATs. I've also been getting information from my professional association, ICMA. Those are the two primary ones that I've been looking at.
Good. Anything else, Hutch?
I would mention that if you haven't been driving South Bronx Road recently, that bridge is going to be out starting tomorrow through October.
At least.
Yeah. So that's a county bridge project.
Glenn, any questions?
Just frustration.
Yeah, I bet. That's your way to work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be detoured now.
Yeah. Wow.
That's about it for me.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Just a question if I can, Ralph, on finances.
Yes.
The actual 2021s compared to the actual 2020s look significantly different for February.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, some of it could be attributed to just the economy is getting back on its feet a bit, but some of them are, pretty substantial. I mean, the earned income tax residents to last year, that's a significant change. Is that COVID related? Is this?
Yeah, I think the Bureau is still trying to figure out exactly what happened, but a lot of the, what I would say was more than expected came in January as a result of end of the year distributions that happened through the Bureau. So yes, it does look much better than it did last year. And yes, I think some of it is COVID related.
Yeah, just substantial difference. So
yeah, you're definitely seeing more traffic on the roads and real estate selling quickly, and hopefully we're getting out of the slow time and making up.
Good. Okay.
Good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I just want to make a quick mention. Chief Zerby, Hutch, and I met last Friday in a public meeting. We talked about Chief Zerby came and talked about use of force and our policy on use of force. And at that meeting, we discussed having review sessions of all use of force by the police department. So we had our first meeting. That was 2 weeks ago, right? 2 Fridays ago, I think. Yeah.
2 Fridays ago. So yeah.
Chief Zerby is well prepared. Tons of information. I mean, when there is a use of force, of course, all the documentation by the police officer, plus any other officer that was on, duty at that time and witnessed that piece of force. So I believe there were 7 or 8 that we discussed. So we will continue to do that on a monthly basis, as well as discuss any police complaints. We had 0 police complaints during that time. I will tell you that the 7 or 8 were all valid uses of force, and just so everyone remembers, a use of force can be as simple as trying to get handcuffs on a person that's resisting in some minor way. It's still a use of force, or unfortunately having to pull your gun out to point at someone. That is a use of force. There were no shooting of a gun or anything like that. They were all frankly very professional uses of force that were no issues. And, but, I appreciate, again, the transparency by the chief and, as the elected official, I believe whoever takes this position after me should continue, having those conversations and reviewing the documentation. It was very helpful for me to read and discuss each of those items. So I appreciate it. I told Chief I appreciated, again, the hard work by the police department plus those conversations that I did have. So, and if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer that as well. So I think that's all. Anything else? Any other comment?
I have a question.
Sure.
Going back a little bit about that money that's coming from the government, do we know how much that's going to be?
1.7.
The estimate is just under 1.7 million to East Lampeter.
Okay, when the regs come out and you guys come up with a list of, say, 20 things, how are you going to decide where the money's going to get spent?
That'll be up to the board.
Yeah, up to the board, board of
to decide.
supervisors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually for things like that, I mean, this is frankly, in my mind, unprecedented that we're getting a lump of money, not knowing exactly what we can spend it on. But yeah, your elected official, also your son, will be a part of the decision making for that. So,
I mean, I think, we will certainly be looking to how other municipalities, may be dealing with those funds and looking for some precedent, looking to see if there are areas that are directly connected to it. I don't think that we're going to, I wouldn't certainly be willing for us to use it in a way that was so radically different from others that we're, doing something that's that unprecedented with it. So.
Are you going to ask for input from the residents?
I'm sure since it will be decided on and approved at a township meeting, then residents will be able to make comment at that time.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
May not be interested in ancient history, but when I first started in my career in local government, there was something called federal revenue sharing. And the municipalities got allocations of federal revenue annually
But they told you what it could be used for.
There were some limitations on what you could use it for. They were fairly liberal, but there were some limitations. So it's been a very long time since there's been any sort of allocation like this.
Hopefully it's somewhat broad, but also something that will add value to the community. So
absolutely.
Yeah, good. Any other questions? Okay, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. One last question.
How many residents are you allowing at the meetings right now? And what's the plan in the future?
We have up to 25 in the room under the current guidelines, but my assumption is that will change probably soon to allow for more. That's 25 so far. Yep.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. That was Harvey Meyer. Okay, motion to adjourn from someone.
So moved.
Second by Ethan. Give that to Ethan. Yep. Any other comment? Okay, all those in favor signify by, sorry, Glenn.
Aye.
Okay, Dave.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Ethan. Aye. Aye. Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
See you, Glenn.
Good
See
seeing
ya.
everyone.
Sorry I
Welcome
couldn't get on sooner.
No worries.
Welcome
That's all
back.
right.
Welcome back.